What's up guys, this is OSG and today we'll be talking about No Man's Sky. Now I haven't made a video in a bit, so this is my first video coming back. Sorry, been busy making money in other ways, but I want to be back on this YouTube thing as this is something I do want to carry on doing and I want to try to be more regular with my uploading. Not be uploading a bunch of videos in one day and then nothing for a week. And yeah, nah, to be fair, I can be a little bit all over the place in it, but I'm trying to sort of pattern up and actually get my upload schedule sorted. Anyway, be making sure to try and make at least one video a day from now on, just to, so you guys actually have something to watch from this channel, because I understand I've been a bit vacant for the past 3 weeks. Anyway, so I just want to talk about No Man's Sky, which is a game I've been playing, and I'm quite happy with. I just have a reasonable number of problems with the game so far, and it's namely of which is the fact that it feels a bit unfinished. Now I've been playing this game for a little bit, right, and if you don't know the game, basically there's loads of planets, and on each one of these planets there's one biome, but there's thousands, no, not even thousands, like millions, billions, something like that of these planets. But obviously they're procedurally generated, so most of them are probably, there's loads of them that are one and the same. Anyway, so my main problem is the lack of diversity on these planets. There'll be one biome, right? You'll say have 20 plants that can grow in this biome, and there'll be like 6 animals. All of these plants and animals are procedurally generated from a set of models. So you will have like, I don't know, a T-Rex body with a snake head or something weird like that. Don't ask me, I don't really care. I mean, it's a silly game. It's not really meant to be like realistic or serious or anything. I mean, I understand the animals look really dumb, but like, yeah, that's kind of how the game's meant to work. Anyway, so my main problem is there's nothing really diverse about anything on the planets. So there's about 4 types of what's considered as dangerous flora, which isn't really dangerous, it's just step on it and you take a bit of damage. Like, this is the main problem I find with the game, is there's not really any difficulty or challenge to it. The environmental hazards there are, right, are a plant that hits you if you're too close to it, a plant that snaps you like a fly trap if you stand on it, a plant that releases gas if you go near it, and a plant that explodes and releases gas if you go near it. So those are basically the on-planet threats. There's the occasional predator, which is, again, just more annoying than it actually is inconvenient or difficult to fight, which is another problem. I'd really like there to be some like proper like predators which are actually an issue on planets, because that would mean you have to do some proper combat and stuff, not just, oh, some weird blob things attacking me from behind, I've got to shoot it with a rifle a couple of times and I can carry on about my day. Anyway, yeah, so that's one of my main issues, right, is the fact that the diversity of the animals on the planets is pretty bad, and also the predators on planets are pretty awful. Their method of attacking is to bump into you at a reasonable velocity. I mean, they could at least put in like a bite animation. If they got like arms, they could like slap you or scratch you. I don't know. They could have put some sort of animation in rather than it just sort of bumping into you, and then you take like half your shield off of damage. It's a weird game, to be honest. But that's what I'm going to say as far as that goes. And then there are a few more hazards in the game, which are the biological horrors, which I consider to be, yeah, they're reasonably lethal if you don't have decent equipment. There's the Sentinels, which I'm not going to go over here because I think that's actually something the game's done pretty well. But in terms of biological horrors, right, there's the ones that sit outside the abandoned buildings, and these ones really are not a threat at all, unless you smack the eggs. So when you smack the eggs, they can be taken out as long as you've got decent enough weapons. And then you've got the smaller ones which live in the abandoned ships, which you barely ever see. So there's about that threat's basically minimised. There's the smaller ones you see in the ships, which you can just shoot them once, and I think they die as far as I can tell. Again, maybe they could have put those outside the abandoned buildings as well, just add a bit of diversity instead of it just being one animal that attacks you. I mean, you can see what I mean, that it's all very much sort of samey when you're playing the game. You get used to it. You'll be like, oh yeah, there's these green monsters outside the building, I have to shoot them to kill them. Like, it just gets very, sort of, you're doing the same job every single day, and yeah, it can just get a bit tiring. And then there's a couple more hazardous things which you barely ever see because you only live in the water, and there's really nothing much to do in the water. Even if they made a submarine, it's not like Subnautica where the water's like one of the most amazing underwater games. It's like there are 5 rocks you can mine which contain minerals you'll find above water. There's no point going in the water. Again, you could kind of just attribute that to bad game design, but I'm hoping in these updates they can actually expand it a bit. So underwater, you've got an eye that looks at you and deals damage while pulling you closer, a jellyfish which damages you on contact, I think by exploding, and then a fish with like an anglerfish sort of fish which kills you only if you trigger it. So this is the problem, right? There are the most dangerous animals, right, are under the water where you'll barely ever go, and they also under the water they barely ever spawn. So they're pretty much non-existent. Like I haven't even encountered one yet. I've had to look these up on the internet to even work out if there's anything more dangerous in this game than sentinels, predators, and biological horrors. I didn't even know that about these underwater biological horrors, or I don't know what they're called. Abyssal horrors. Sorry, not biological horrors. So yeah, that's my problem with the game, right? Very very low lack of diversity, low lack of low threats. There's barely any challenge to the game. There's nothing that's gonna kill you really. I mean I've died a few times. So it's just because I was fighting waves of sentinels just for fun. I mean there is very little reason to fight them. Occasionally you'll need their resources, but generally it's just Pugenium, and then you might want to get some of the Sentinel hard frame parts, and then after that, the Sentinels, not really much point in killing them, unless you need more Pugenium, which isn't even, you don't even need that much of it, or just to make money from selling the parts, but, I mean, you could always do that. Anyway, sorry, I need to cough quickly. But yeah, so that's my main problem with No Man's Sky. I hope they increase the diversity of the threats in this game soon, and by the way, I don't just mean put more eggs outside the abandoned building like they did at one point, or make weird looking animals predators. I mean, like add some more diversity, like what games like Minecraft and Subnautica had. There's a wide array of threats which come from a wide array of biomes. Like I don't know, you could add maybe a bird that like drops stuff on you. I'm not sure, but my main problem is the other problem. Sorry, the other problem I have with the gameplay of combat is basically every dangerous animal. Its way of damaging you is you take damage when you get close to it or touch it, and that really should not be. I think the little ones spit at you, but other than that, most of them it's just you get close to it. It deals a little bit of damage, you walk away, your shield regenerates, you're completely fine. And that is honestly pretty boring for a combat mechanic. I understand No Man's Sky isn't a combat game, it's like a relaxed sort of sandbox open world game, but still. So I'm going to conclude this video here, so thank you for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Probably not that many people have watched this point, because it's just been me going on about the state of this game, but honestly I just wanted to give my opinion on this, because I've been enjoying this game a lot recently, and I just really feel like it could do with just a big bolster to the level of threats in the game. But anyway guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.